Okay. Well, I'm Larry Hafner. I live out here in Oregon in about 20 years, and I ended up with 3 surgeries from one accident from a collapsed paraglider. I won't go into that a lot, except to say in the recovery of 6 days in the hospital, I couldn't get my gastrointestinal system to work, and I kept asking the nurses, "What the heck's the problem? What's the problem? I mean, is something else broke inside you guys didn't find, or what?" And they said, "No, it's due to the narcotics we're given to control the pain." And Pat was with me. We were in Arizona. We didn't have a lot of the Niken products with us, but I told her, I says, "Honey, bring in whatever the heck you got back at the hotel, and we're getting rid of this pain medication." And so she brought over the Mag Dual and my insoles and the Magflex. And within 2 days, I was off the prescriptions and handled it with just Tylenol and that kind of stuff. And that really impressed me. And when I got home, Vance, which you'll hear later tonight, was over here showing my wife about the Kinko Touch, which had just come out. And I tried it on my calf that morning. I literally had a spasm in it so bad that I was still limping around. And he says, "Why don't you try this on that and see what it works? See if it works." And I did it a couple of times like he told me to, and it completely went away. And I was just kind of awestruck. And so at that point, I finally agreed to go through a strength test with the water system he'd been talking to me about. And I kept saying, "Oh no, I paid too much for this one. I don't want another water system." And when he did the strength test with me, it was so obvious that the Plymag was better water. At that point, I got really excited, and Pat and I started talking to all of our friends and neighbors, and we made silver and built quite a customer base. And then fast forward to today. This is what I want to tell you about. I went to the hospital for the second time in my life to have a minor surgery. And I was only supposed to be in there for a couple of days. And after I got out of the surgery, my body just kept going downhill. And this happened the 11th of November. And I said, "Holy cow, man, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, just going in for 2 nights, I took 7 products with me. I said, man, I'm taking the Niken array with me so I don't have to go through this gastrointestinal problem again." And my memory was 8 years long at least. So I said, I sure as heck don't want to do that. And of course, using them, it wasn't doing a whole lot of good because the surgeon, unknown to him and me too at that time, had nicked my colon, and my body was going septic. And it took him 6 days to find out what the problem was. By that time, I was, quite honestly, I don't think I would have lasted very many more hours. And the surgeon came in and said, "We're going to have to operate on you now." And I said, "Well, I'd kind of like to pray about it." And he said, "Well, don't take too long." and 45 minutes later, I was on the table. And they fixed the problem. Yeah, they fixed the problem. But by that point, I was so doggone weak and everything. By the way, I'd been using all 7 products I took with me from the first surgery. And obviously wasn't doing much good when you got your system going septic. But anyway, I was very impressed to how the nurses would cater to me and my request to use them. And none of them refused it, which was amazing to me. And that was really reassuring. And then after the second surgery, I started getting better. And then I had another third surgery 2 days after that. And that was relatively minor, but I had so many tubes sticking out of me, I couldn't hardly do anything. And I was pretty much dependent on the nurse staff. But the net result was that I got out of there in 32 days. That was a long time, believe me. Oh, by the way, I'm missing one other thing that's really important. 2 weeks after I'd been in there, all I'd been on was IVs, and I was losing weight. I was weak, and they put me back on solid food. I could hardly eat it at first because my stomach had shrunk so much. And I said, I want my KBB and my greenzymes in here so I can start getting some proper nutrition. And they said, well, you got to clear it through the kitchen. I said, fine. So Pat brought it in the next day. They cleared it. I started using it, and I used that the rest of the 2 weeks I was there. The thing that really I want to bring home is that I don't think I would have made it without all that stuff. I really don't. I mean, once I got out of that third surgery, I was off of all pain medication except Tylenol, and there's not many people that could say that about that kind of a traumatic experience. So,
thank you, Larry. That's a powerful story. Several stories. Stop hurting yourself, okay? It's a good thing that you have these products. I want to interject here. If you're a guest, and especially because you're hearing a powerful story and you're not seeing his face, but definitely you'll want to get with the person that invited you so that you can either face-to-face in person see the products or over a Zoom if that's the way that you would meet. So you may be hearing about names of products and not really know what they are. And so, you know, we want you to keep going with getting more information. So this, you may not get you're not going to get answers to questions that you might have, but that'll come as a follow-up.